The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's orientation webinar with your host, James McDonald.
Well, thank you very much, Andrea, and I'd like to start by welcoming our brand new coaching students to our orientation webinar today. First of all, let me start by saying how absolutely awesome it was to see all of you at conference. It was by far and away, well, I say this a lot, but it was the best conference that we've done in a long, long time. Just a great, great group of realtors that just the chemistry in the room and everybody's attitude, it really made for what was an incredible, a very, very special event. And of course, you know that we've been doing these conferences for many, many, many years, so that says a lot about who you are and your group. So now we've got the best of the best together in our coaching program, and we couldn't be more excited. Now let me preface today's webinar by saying that today is not a coaching webinar. What today is an orientation webinar, and let me explain the difference. What I want to do on today's webinar is explain to you how the coaching program is going to help you, how everything works, where to find all the resources, how to get the help that you need. I want you to understand what you're about to embark on here so that you don't feel overwhelmed and that you don't know what to do to sort of get the guidance that you're looking for, as opposed to a coaching webinar, which is instructional, which is going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Now, with that description, there will be some things that I'm going to suggest that you do a little later on in the webinar here. But tomorrow is when the instruction begins. That's our very first coaching call with Craig, and I'm going to have you just write that down right now. Tomorrow, that's Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That is going to be our very first webinar with Craig, and you're going to log on to that webinar exactly the same way you did today's webinar. You're going to receive an email with a link. You're going to receive a text with a link. Everything, we're going to bombard you with different reminders. I shouldn't say bombard. We're going to remind you and make it convenient and easy for you to respond. Remember that secret formula we talk about marketing? You want to get prospects to respond? Make it easy for them to do so. And they will. Make it difficult, confuse them, and it becomes less likely. So that's what we're going to do. You'll be able to log on very easily, but just mark that off in your calendar tomorrow on your day timer at 1 p.m. Pacific time. We'll probably go for 2 hours, 90 minutes to 2 hours tomorrow. So book off a couple of hours. It's really important because the webinar is really your very first introduction to the content of the coaching program and how we're going to get you started. And so Craig is doing it. I can tell you that he puts a ton of effort into making sure that it is excellent. And this is time spent working on your business. It's going to be extremely valuable. So do not miss that, whatever you do. That's the very first one. Now, having said that, what I want to do here is I want to break down the program. You can see here all of the various coaching calls that we have coming up and the dates scheduled for those. I want to break down over the course of the week all of the different webinars that we do and precisely what they do to help you. The first thing that I want to begin by saying is that the more you participate, the more likely it is that you'll be successful. It's overwhelming. It's not even close. If you participate, you will be more successful with this program than if you don't participate. And if you participate live, as opposed to just going and watching the webinar, later on that day or the next week or on the weekend, you'll be far more successful far more quickly if you do it live. Now, let me explain why. We want you to begin to spend time working on your business every single day, not just in it every single day. And Craig really took the time at the conference to explain the difference between working in and working on. Your business is never going to get any better if all you ever do is work in it, doing the same things that you're doing every day over and over and over again and just repeating it. The only way that it's going to make fundamental changes is if you spend time working on ways of making it better. So the way that I want you to think of these webinars that we do throughout the week, as well as the phone calls with your one-on-one coach, the way I want you to think of this is time that we're spending not selling any real estate, but rather focusing on ways of making our business better. How do we make our business more efficient? How do we make it more profitable? How do we change fundamentally our business so that it actually looks different than it did before we worked on it? So if you take the time to come on these webinars live, what it kind of shows us is you understand the concept that working on your business is far more profitable to you in the long run than working in it. And therefore, it should take priority. There's nothing more dollar productive in your real estate business than working on ways of making it better. There's no listing appointment that's more valuable than spending time throughout the week examining your business, looking at ways to make it a better, more effective business. That is the most dollar productive thing that an entrepreneur can do with their business. And the sooner you learn that, the sooner you start to realize, geez, I need to come on these calls and mastermind with everybody absolutely live throughout the week. And the more I do that, the more dollar productive it becomes and the better my business gets and the more quickly it happens. And, as I've said over and over again, as is Craig, we've been doing this for many, many, many years, and it's not debatable anymore as to whether participating live and really booking this in your schedule to do it is effective. Not up for debate anymore. It's overwhelmingly obvious to us and to everybody that does it. So I'm really excited that you guys have made the commitment that you're going to do this. I want you to think of it this way. You're going to meet us at the 50-yard line. All right, you've got to come to the 50-yard line. We're going to meet you at the 50-yard line, and then together we're going to walk into the end zone. So when you have that kind of mindset, you understand that it's like joining a gym. Right? The gym is there, the equipment is awesome, the personal trainers are waiting for you. We are going to get you in the most phenomenal shape of your life, but you got to meet us there. And you got to meet us there with the right attitude, which I already know all of you have. Okay, now, the first thing that I want to talk about are the various webinars that we do throughout the week. So every Monday, and I know that at the conference we broke you off and we did that very brief orientation, but now that we've got a little bit more time and you're settled in, I can maybe take my time a little bit here and make sure that you really understand what we're doing throughout the week. Every Monday, we do an open forum Q&A, and we do them for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Here's the purpose of doing the Monday morning Q&A session. All of the questions that you have over the course of the weekend are going to be addressed on that Monday morning webinar. So jot down any questions that come to mind, any topic of discussion. The Monday morning Q&A session, the helpline, it's a free-for-all. What that means is we can talk about anything you bring up. There is no set topic. There is no set agenda. We're going to just take the questions in the order that they come. You can type your question into the chat, or we can open up your microphone and we can have a conversation, Here's what it also accomplishes. Every Monday morning, we need to get you back into the Craig Proctor mode after spending the weekend in your real estate business. Okay? Most of you are spending your weekends, you're busy with clients, you're showing properties, you're on listing appointments, maybe you're doing open houses. You're busy working in your real estate business all weekend. So you're kind of out of Craig Proctor mode. First thing Monday morning, we're going to get you right back into Craig Proctor mode by having you come on the Q&A session. Even if you yourself have no questions, you will learn every bit as much from others' questions as you will from your own. So it's never, ever a bad idea to get your mindset back in Craig Proctor mode every single Monday morning on those open forum Q&As. Now, on Thursdays, we're going to conduct our role play session, and we talked a lot about this at the conference. And here's what we do on the Thursday role play. The universal callback script, you're going to begin to understand if you haven't already, is absolutely critical to your success with Craig Proctor's system. There is no one element that is of more paramount importance than the universal callback script. You're going to find within a matter of weeks that generating leads is easy, and you can generate lots of really good leads. However, if you don't say the right things, you're not going to determine the timing and motivation of these prospects, and you're certainly not going to compel the good ones to want to meet with you. So here's what happens. You might have a really effective appointment. You know, your presentation, your buyer presentation or listing presentation might be excellent. But if you can't compel buyers and sellers to meet with you, to book an appointment, it's all for naught. So we're going to work on this every single Thursday. We're going to take an hour to an hour and a half, and here's how these webinars work. We're going to take volunteers, and we're going to role play with you. Craig and I will act as the prospect. You are going to call us as if we're a prospect, and you are determining our timing and motivation. Sometimes we're going to be challenging. Sometimes we're going to be, you know, the pretty typical prospect. And you're going to learn as much from you volunteering as you will listening to all of your fellow coaching students in volunteering and doing role playing as well. So participating on that Thursday role play session, that is absolutely critical as well. And I can't encourage you enough. There is a direct pipeline from your skills at the universal callback script directly to the commission checks that go in your bank account. And that's not rhetoric. It is absolutely true that the quicker you become an expert at this universal script, the quicker you will make money with this system. If you're really good at lead conversion, you don't need to generate that many leads to book an appointment. If you aren't good with lead conversion, then you need hundreds of prospects in order to book an appointment with one of them. We don't want that. We want you to be able to book to generate 5 leads and immediately book 1, 2, 3 appointments right from those 5 prospects that you might generate. And that's only going to happen if and when you are an expert with the universal callback script. So the practicing never ever ends. We're going to do this every Thursday forever. I mean, literally, we have our coaching students from time to time that'll pop on to to a session that we're doing, a role playing session that we're doing, and we'll have one of our students who've been doing this for 10 years. They'll come on just to refine what they're doing, just to maybe work on an element of the universal script. You know, so there are a billion different analogies that we could give in this, but you will always be refining what you do every day. And if you're not constantly refining and practicing, you might not get any better. And we always want to get better and better at what we do. And so every Thursday, as you can tell by my enthusiasm about it, it's critical. And I expect that all of you on a very regular basis will participate on those webinars. And then finally, every Friday, we're going to do what we call our marketing ad clinic session. Now, here's what that means. It means that we're going to focus on generating the leads on Fridays. So I know it sounds a little backwards. Thursday, we focus on converting the leads, then Friday, we talk about generating the leads, but that's just the way that we do it. Friday mornings is an opportunity for you to look at all of the ads that your fellow coaching students are running so that you can see what they're doing that's, number one, working well so that you can copy it. And number two, you can see what they're doing incorrectly so you don't make the same mistakes. It's really vital. Now, of course, the benefit of a webinar is that we can all look at the same ads. We all get to look at the same information together. So we're not just talking about it, we're actually looking at the ads ourselves. And, you know, I've got to really suggest this. Some of you are going to be inclined to take Craig's ads and design your own. And you'll say, well, I used Craig's ad, you know, but I just kind of spruced it up or I changed it for me. I really encourage you not to do that, particularly in the beginning. When you create a homemade ad, what happens is you're going to change an element of the ad that causes the ad to work. And you're going to get rid of the part of the ad that actually causes it to work. And I know this because we've been doing this for many, many years, and it happens every time. The best, most effective ads that will generate leads for you immediately are the ones that are copied most identically to the examples that Craig has already created. So you need to copy in order to succeed. You imitate before you innovate. And in a minute, we're going to look on the website here, and I'm going to show you where you can find all kinds of different examples of the various ads that you're going to use as template examples. Now, let me say this. There will be many, many occasions over the course of 12 months where you're not going to be able to get on all of the webinars. I know that. And that's okay. You know, I want you as a rule, though, to make an effort to be on as many of them as you possibly can, because as I said, there's a correlation between participation and success. Having said that, though, every one of these webinars, although we do them live so that we can interact together, we are also recording them while we do it. And the reason we record it is so that, number one, if you miss it, you can go back on the website and you can go into the archives. All of the webinars that we've done will be there, and you can watch the webinar at your own convenience when you are available to. We also do it because there's a lot of information given, and you're going to miss some of it. And you're going to say, damn, I'd really like to go back, and I'd like to hear that again. And you will. You can go back. You can download the webinar so that you can listen to it. Maybe every morning you like to, go for a run or go to the gym. Well, maybe, I don't know, you listen to a little bit of pump-up music, and then maybe you get into Craig Proctor mode by taking some time in the car or something and listening to some of the sessions that you've downloaded. It'll really help you. Here's one of the things that you want to do as well. When you volunteer to do role-playing with us on the Thursday role-play sessions, it's really instructional for you to go back and listen to yourself. So we record, the role play session, and now later that day or the next day, you go onto the coaching website and you go and you click on the Ad Clinic session, and you listen to it again, and you say, I wonder what I sounded like on that role play. And when you go back and you listen to yourself from a third-party perspective, you're going to be blown away how instructional that is. You're going to realize that you're saying things that you didn't realize you were, and you're not saying things that you thought you were. You're also going to notice how you're not hearing things the prospect is telling you because you're too focused worrying about what you're going to say, so you don't hear what they're actually telling you. It's extremely instructional. So I don't want you to freak out if you're going to be away or if there are certain webinars that you're just not going to be able to make. That's normal, and that, of course, is going to happen as long as you make the effort and understand that all of the webinars are available after the fact. Okay, now, one other thing that I want to mention as well. Throughout the year, we do a series of one-day boot camps only for our new coaching participants. So that's you guys. You are our brand new coaching students. So just for you, we conduct a series of one-day boot camps. Now, I cannot encourage you enough to make sure that you participate in that one-day boot camp. There is, of course, no cost to it at all. You're already members. We're doing this for you. This is part of your investment in the coaching program. You are not being sold anything. This is a day of learning. There will be there's no one there selling you anything or any newbies there that we've got to start over and explain. This is for you and for your coaching group. And the reason we do it is because there is no better environment for learning than a classroom. So all of these webinars that we do throughout the week and your one-on-one consultations with your coach, which I'm going to talk about in a second here, they're extremely vital to your success and they're very effective, but nothing is as good as the uninterrupted environment in a classroom to absorb information so that you get it. So here's what we do at our boot camps. What we're going to do is we're going to start the morning, we'll start at 8:30 in the morning. 9 a.m. in the morning. We'll go all the way through till 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the evening. Of course, we'll take a lunch break and we'll take a couple coffee breaks. But, I mean, it's a big, big, big day. But the benefit of it is that because all of you will be well-versed, you'll already have been implementing the system. We can conduct that boot camp at a far more advanced level than the super conference was. So what it allows us to do now is sit in that room and absorb the information at a much higher level. And we can really get into the specifics of all of the various elements of Craig's 6-step system. And you'll understand perfectly what we're talking about because you'll have been doing it for many weeks by that point. And we're going to start early in the morning, so you can either come the morning of or you can stay the night before. And it is always an absolutely incredible experience for all who participate. And we really want to have, if we can, as close to 100% participation from this group. As I said, this was a really, really special group, and I really felt an unusual chemistry in the room, and I'm particularly excited about your coaching group, and I think the success is going to be absolutely unprecedented with your group compared to other groups that have had amazing success as well. Okay, let me talk about your one-on-one coaches here. Every one of you are going to be assigned a one-on-one coach. Now, we try not to assign your coach just willy-nilly randomly. We try to use the information that we've got from you in terms of personality profile, years in the business, your marketplace to a degree. Things like that are helpful in assigning a coach that's likely going to be a very good fit. Now, having said that, we've got, a couple of dozen coaches from all over North America who have been doing it for some time. And you need to know this about your coach. Whoever is assigned to you as your coach, here's a couple things that you know about them. Number one, they, like you, came to a super conference, joined the coaching program, and began from scratch implementing the Craig Proctor system exactly the same way you are now. They did no matter who your coach is, they did exactly what you're doing. They just did it several years ago. Now, not only did they do it, but they did it with awesome success. They were extremely successful in implementing the system. Now, that doesn't mean that necessarily they wanted to build a 500 transaction a year business, but in a lot of cases they did. Here's what they all did do, though. They all made a quantum leap in their real estate business. They all built a business that doesn't rely on them. And the proof that it doesn't rely solely on them is that they have time to coach you. They have the time to sit down and give back, some hours of their time coaching other brand new students, just as when they started, they had a coach that also did the same thing for them as well. Now, you got to remember, we're not giving you somebody who has never done this before. We're giving you someone as a coach who has a very, very successful real estate business. And if they didn't, Craig would not ask them to be a coach, which means they are worth hundreds of dollars an hour. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. Your coach has a real estate business that to that coach means that they are worth hundreds of dollars an hour. They are extremely valuable. They're extremely good at what they do. If they weren't on the phone doing one-on-one consultations with you, what they would be doing in their real estate business would be worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars an hour. So you're not getting, some kid that doesn't know, what they're talking about because they've never done it. And I say that because, a lot of you have done other coaching programs before where they assign you somebody that's sitting in a cubicle in an office telling you how the system, how to implement the system that they themselves have never, ever done before. We're not going to do that. You need to know, that we're giving you somebody who is an absolute expert at implementing this system because they've done it. And what you're also going to find is this. Craig doesn't select just anybody because they've built an incredible business. They got to be good at coaching. They really do. They've got to be patient, but firm. They've got to be articulate and descriptive. They've got to be resourceful, empathetic, sympathetic, all that stuff. Just because you're really good at what you do doesn't mean you'll be good at teaching others to be good as well. Our coaches are. That's the prerequisite of this. So, it's funny, but some of you, and again, from your group, I would not be surprised if it was a great number of you, will wind up being coaches of the Craig Proctor system. It's funny, you're going to make far more money coaching than you invested in the program in the first place. As have many of our coaches, they've made more money being coaches, after the fact than they did investing in the coaching program in the first place. So that's something that is obviously for down the road, but something to keep in the back of your head as well. If you know yourself pretty well, and you know that that's one of your strengths, is teaching and explaining. Now, having said that, here's how it's going to work with your coach. We are going to set up a formal one-on-one coaching call at a minimum every other week. We never want more than a 2-week period to go by where you've gotten really busy and you're like, wow, I haven't talked to my coach in a month. We're never going to allow that to happen. Anna from our office, okay, you'll all meet Anna. She'll be calling you if she hasn't already. You will find that Anna will always reach out and call you to make sure that we've got a formal one-on-one consultation booked with your coach at least every other week. Now, that doesn't mean that when you have questions, you can't reach out to your coach. They're your coach. You can, you got a quick question, shoot them an email. Give them a quick call. Even if it means you have to leave them a voicemail with a quick question, they would much rather they would rather have constant short communication with you on an ongoing basis than have long conversations with you infrequently. Did I explain that well? In other words, I don't want to talk to you for an hour and a half once a month. I would much rather have a 5-minute conversation with you every other day. I would know much better your progress if we spoke for shorter periods of time, but more frequently, because I was getting emails from you, we were emailing back and forth, we had little conversations, you had a quick question. I would feel like I had a much better pulse on how you're doing and how you're progressing than if long periods of time didn't go by and then we had this great big long conversation and then another long period of time went by. So that's something that we're going to really encourage you to do, because really that's up to you to reach out to your coach when you have these questions to make sure that they know where you're at. See, the whole benefit of being assigned a one-on-one coach is that unlike the weekly webinars, it's for you specifically. It's tailored to you, your resources, your marketplace, your target market. Your coach, the better your coach knows you and your business, the better they're going to be able to help you. So really make sure that they know. Make sure they understand exactly what is happening in your business with your implementation of the system. They'll be patient with you. The one thing that the coaches understand is we do not all move at the same pace. There are some of you that I met who are brand new to real estate. You have nothing going on right now. You're going to progress very, very quickly with the system, because you can give it the time to really be an implementer. It's a tremendous advantage, believe it or not. There are others of you that have your business well established, and you're busy already. And for you, you're not going to have as much time in the implementation process. But, the upside is you likely will have more resources available to you because you're making money because you've been selling real estate for a period of time. So the coach will understand that, and they will work, on your learning curve and on your implementation curve as well. Now, I want to talk about the website, okay? And this is the last thing that we're going to focus on here today, but it's pretty detailed. And there's a lot on here that I want you all to familiarize yourself, and which it's likely you have not as of yet. What I'm hoping that you have done, though, is you've completed your business profile. So when you go to craigproctorcoaching.com All right, you log on to craigproctorcoaching.com, and when you do, you will notice right on the home page it says complete my business profile. And it is really important that you complete your business profile first and foremost. Why? Because your coach is going to look and read your business profile prior to your first consultation with them. And the better they understand you, your marketplace, your business, your experience, your resources, all of these things, the better job they're going to be able to do at tailoring their coaching to fit you and where you're at. Now, what you'll also notice is that if you don't get to the business profile all in one shot, you can save it as you go along. So everywhere here it says save progress. All right, do that. You say, well, I don't have time to fill out all of this. So what? So fill out what you can and hit save. Your coach will see what you've done to that point. At least they have something. So you'll notice here that it's asking you a lot of information about your experience. It's asking you about your marketplace. It's asking you about things like that. It's asking if you have a team, any assistants, stuff like that. It's going to ask you about your goals, and what it is that you're really good at, what parts of real estate you like the most, what clients you're looking to attract, all of these kinds of things. Your experience in marketing up to this point, any technology that you use in your business. Do you have a contact management system? Do you have a website set up? All of these things. And it's also going to it's going to ask you to articulate your vision for where you see yourself. I can't tell you how valuable that is for a coach to know before they pick up the phone and have that first consultation with their coaching student, the ambitions of their student, so that when they get on the phone, they have a really good sort of insight into where you see yourself and your excitement and your motivation to do this. So do take the time to complete this prior to your first consultation with your coach, although I understand that for a lot of you, you've already booked your consultation. I doubt you've had it yet, but you certainly booked it. So let's talk about that next. The very, very top here, it says, if you have not yet booked your first 2 consultations, to ensure you get the most out of the program, we recommend you book your consultation. To do so, please click the Book Now button. When you click Book Now, what you're going to have is you're going to have access to the schedule so that you can actually book in the time convenient to you to access your coach's day timer to put an appointment in there. If not, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. Get to know Anna. Her name is Anna Pandolfo, and Anna is available at 1-800-538-1034. So you call Anna, and again, I'll repeat that number. Anna is at 1-800-538-1034. She's extension 239. But if you call during business hours, the receptionist, you can just ask for Anna, and Anna will help you. Anna will book an appointment. You have an urgent need to get an appointment earlier with your coach. Anna's your gal. She will help you, and she'll get you in there. But you want to do this now. Book your appointment with your coach. Do that immediately to ensure that you have a chance to speak to them while you're getting all of this set up in the first steps. And that's what I'd like to talk about next, okay? You're going to find on this website, I would really take the time to explore all of the various resources that are available to you on this coaching website. I mean, there are hundreds of ad examples. Everything is here. Classified ads. You can see under resources down the right-hand side. Classified ads, editorial ads, display ads, postcards, all the various reports, the universal follow-up script, the buyer presentation, the listing presentation, the follow-up newsletters. Everything is there right at the click of a mouse. But what I want you to go to first, Andrea, is I want you to go to first steps, or what do I need, I guess. And the reason I'm showing you this is because regardless of who you are, regardless of your marketplace, regardless of new, old, your resources, these are the basics that you're really going to need, because you really can't start to generate any meaningful leads if you don't have these things in place. So number one, it says an unbranded hotline. So we use the hotline before the website. Now here's why. This is in order. The hotline's $20, right? It's $20. So it's the cheapest one. So if you said, I have no money, the website to set up just the non-branded information website is $129 a month. But he said, I don't even have that. I can't even do that. Well, you got to have something so prospects can respond. Well, the hotline's $20. So everybody should have a hotline. It's so easy. All the scripts are pre-recorded, and it's $20. So everybody automatically, should I get the hotline? Yes, it's $20. There's no question. Everybody should have the hotline. Next, the website. The unbranded website we are emphasizing. Now, some of you at the Super Conference, you signed up for both websites, and that's great because you do need a branded and an information website. So instead of unbranded, I'm going to call it information, because the truth is the unbranded website is branded. It has all of your identification and everything like that on there, your DRE and license, and depending on where you are, etc. But what it does is it generates leads by offering information. So I'll call it the information website. That is an absolute critical must if you're going to generate leads. So there's nothing to talk about in terms of lead generation until the prospects have somewhere to go to request the information. That's the unbranded website. So you've got to have that set up and in place. Okay, now, it says a contact management system such as Agent Office or Top Producer. I would include Wise Agent. As a matter of fact, I would have Wise Agent as number one if you don't have a contact management system. So let me repeat that. If you have a contact management system, a database day timer, keep it. Use it. That's the one I want you to use. You're obviously using it now. That means you'll use it. That's great. Keep it. If you do not have a contact management system, a database day timer, a really great one that's super inexpensive and it's all web-based is called Wise Agent. W-I-S-E, Wise Agent. Okay? It is very inexpensive and it is awesome. It does everything you need it to do, and it's all online accessible. So you can access your database from anywhere. You can access your day timer from anywhere. It's really, really great and easy, simple to use. But here's the thing. We're going to get you generating leads very, very quickly. I assure you those leads will all fall through the cracks and will not be converted effectively if you don't have an organized contact management system to put them. Number 4, the universal callback script. Memorize it. So you can click here to access the follow-up script. Print it, print 100 copies, and put it everywhere. The sooner you memorize the universal callback script, the sooner you'll internalize it. And once you internalize it, the next step is mastery. And once you reach that mastery level with that script, I cannot tell you, the sky is the limit. I mean, converting leads, you can be in your car and you'll get a lead into your email inbox, and you'll pull over at Starbucks, and while you're in the lineup, you'll call back that prospect and you'll book an appointment with them before you get your chai tea latte, I don't know, whatever you get. But you get it. I mean, you'll be really, really good with this script, and what you'll realize is that you can call back a worthy prospect using this script, and you can book an appointment in 2-3 minutes on the phone with a prospect. It's easy, but it's only easy when you become a master at the universal script. So that's a must, and there you see it right there. It's one script. We're not suggesting, like a Mike Ferry program where there are, literally 100 scripts for every occasion. There's one script. It's universal. It doesn't matter where the prospect came from. It doesn't matter what information they requested. It doesn't matter if they're looking to buy first or sell first, or a first-time buyer, a move-up buyer, an out-of-state prospect. None of it is relevant. It's universal. It's for anybody who has requested real estate information. So anybody that's responded to any offer that we've made, we're going to use this script to follow up with them. One script and one script only that does exactly what we need it to do. All right, so that's your next step in the process here. Okay, and then finally, number 5, an open mind to implement and learn new ideas. Now, talk about preaching to the choir. I'll wrap up the orientation webinar by saying that many of you have old paradigms that have really been shaken at conference, and you have started your new business now. But, your old ways and your old paradigms are extremely powerful. They will do anything to pull you back. And while you're busy working in your business, those old paradigms are working very, very hard to grab you and pull you back in. We are going to become so much a part of your everyday life, webinars most days of the week, calls with your coach, updates, reminders from us. We are not going to allow your old paradigms to suck you back, because we're going to be pulling as hard forward as those old paradigms are pulling you back. But if you're aware that that's what's happening to you, it'll make a big, big difference. Just be aware when you get those feelings like, okay, I know what's happening here. Those are my old paradigms trying to pull me back in to what I'm familiar and comfortable with. I don't want to be familiar and comfortable. I want to be uncomfortable and expand, and I want to learn what I don't know. And I want to feel, a little bit, apprehensive about the idea that I'm embarking on something new that I've never done before. I want to be a little bit scared. A little bit scared is really good. That means you're going in the right direction. If you're not a little bit scared, a little bit uncertain, you're not challenging yourself. And the reason you guys took this step and invested in this coaching program is because you want to. You absolutely want to be a little bit uncomfortable, and you want to, move forward. You want to experience what you've never had before. So it's such an honor to be a big part of this. And let me couple things in closing. First of all, before I forget, let me give you my email address. It's james@credproctor.com. I know most of you have it anyway. james@credproctor.com. Reach out to me anytime, any questions that you have or anything like that. Again, you've got tons of resources. Your coach, all of these webinars that we do, myself, you're going to find that there are others involved as well. The very, very first coaching call that we're going to do with Craig, let me repeat, will be tomorrow. That's Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. We are going to do coaching call number 1 with Craig. Under no circumstances do you miss this very, very important first coaching call. You will receive an email from us where all you have to do is click on the link. We're going to send it to you. We're going to pre-register you for it. You don't have to do anything. All you got to do is you make sure that you get that email or a couple minutes before. Open up that email, click on the link to join the webinar, and you don't have to do anything. It'll just boom. It'll just automatically join you. Make sure that you have a working mic if you want to participate that way. Why don't you make sure that you're in a nice, quiet environment, in your office, somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed. No barking dogs. Don't try to resist checking your email. You really want to pretend that you're in a room. Pretend you're in a classroom with Craig. Recreate that environment so that you really get the most out of the experience. Again, congratulations on your investment in yourself and in the coaching program. I really look forward, as I said, to being a big part of this. We're all super excited to have you, and it was such a pleasure seeing all of you and meeting some of you that I hadn't met before. Let's do this. Let's sell big. Here's to your future. Thanks so much, everybody, for participating on the orientation session here today, and we'll look forward to speaking with all of you on your very first coaching call.